Today we're doing a 70s look. I'm really excited. I have been doing decade looks every so often. Started with the 1920s. Now we're at the 1970s. I already put primer on my face. This is the e.l.f. Tone Adjusting Face Primer, and I really like it. I've used it a bunch of times now. Way better. Okay, so I am using the Sephora Clean foundation. I am excited to show you what this looks like. I have no idea if this is like enough or too much, but we'll see. It's supposed to be very natural and free of parabens and free of a lot of toxins found in normal foundations. You know what? I'm gonna use a brush and then go back in. So in the 1970s, people really did strive to get that skin-like coverage. The foundation was way more light. My skin looks pretty good at the moment, like texture-wise. Like my forehead looks really good. See how it does look pretty skin-like. I definitely am going to be using a sponge to use this. A lot of people say to use a brush, but I just tried using a brush and it didn't look as good. So I'm definitely sticking with the sponge, and I'm sure it'll look better with concealer in a minute too. Next I'm going in with my Kosas concealer in shade 02. I don't know if this is going to be too light for me. This looks good. It looks way lighter on camera. Okay, this is way more coverage than I was expecting. I'm just so used to using a sponge. Okay, very light coverage compared to what I'm used to. I noticed that this is settling into my lines, into my creases under my eyes, so I don't love that. I put on a layer of concealer. I feel like I definitely need another layer. I'm gonna go in with the Milk Makeup setting powder. So, blush and bronzer in the 70s. So I'm doing more, I don't know if I said this yet, but I'm doing more of like a disco glam kind of look, I think. So I know back then a lot of photos that I've seen, it's more like stripy, and the blush goes like, and bronzer goes like up in the temple area and down the face in like a stripe motion. I am using the ILIA blush, and this is in shade Olive Me, and this is like very oily looking, so. And you can use your fingers or a brush to blend this in. I'm gonna use my fingers, and I'm pretty sure this look kind of carried into the 80s as well. Okay, I'm gonna set the areas now of my face around the blush. So just right here. And this setting powder, again by Milk Makeup, really does help hide any pores or like blurs them out, which is very nice. I'm not going to do my whole face because I still want more of like a glow. Next, I'm going to go in with the NARS Laguna bronzer. It's a mini. It's really small. People wanted to kind of bronze up their face. This is really when the bronzing era started. Like the healthy tan glow. So I definitely don't have that. So I'm going to be using some bronzer to achieve that look. And I'm going kind of around the blush. And it looks really nice if you kind of like overlap a little bit, because the bronzer, you know, looks a little bit more glowy. It kind of blends in well with the blush. I'm going to bring up the bronzer now into the temple area and the top of the forehead. Like I said, they really wanted a bronzy glow. So I'm just kind of gathering this around the hairline, and then I'm going to go in around like the whole face and do more of like a bronzy finish. So I'm just going to take a really big brush. I'm gonna use this everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna go in with highlight because disco. And I'm using the e.l.f. highlight. It's like the champagne color. I think the shade is named Pearls. It kind of looks like they just kind of followed the natural eyebrow shape and filled them in. And I am using the Goof Proof Brow Pencil by Benefit in 2.5. Yeah, I mean, they just kind of look more natural, filled in all the photos that I'm seeing. I am going to go with my eyelash curler and just curl my lashes to start, only because I don't want to mess up my eyeshadow after putting it on. So we're going in with a blue look today. This is going to be very interesting. I am using the Makeup Revolution palette. This is an older one. It's a couple years old. The name of it is Makeup Revolution London Reloaded Deep Dive. 70s filled with blue eyeshadow, purple, green, those type of colors. Obviously there was still like browns and neutrals. So I'm actually going to start with this shade down here. This shade also kind of looks like a 90s shade. I'm going to use my eyeshadow primer to start. This is the Pro Primer by LA Girl. So I'm just going to put this all over the lids. This can, yeah, like I said, definitely looks like a 90s frosted look too. But this shade was super popular in the 70s, like this blue, or like more of a turquoise color. A lot of the makeup like in the 60s followed kind of like a circular motion in the 1960s and kind of like was like droopy and like downward turned. And in the 70s, actually that's where it started with like the eyeshadow with the kind of winged look, or like the eyeshadow that was brought out more. Okay, I'm gonna go in with this color right here. Okay, we're looking a little crazy, but it's all right. It'll get there. So next, so I just went in here, like I said, and did the outers, and I'm gonna blend that, don't worry. Go up here, do this one. We're going for the Mamma Mia look here. And see how it kind of blends out like this into the temple. A lot of people did that, apparently. A lot of pictures that I'm seeing. People liked to blend out and have like a grungy, kind of messy look. It's not my favorite, to be honest, but just trying to follow what they did in the decade. We have this shade right here. It is like a silvery, sparkly shade. I'm just putting that on the inner corners. I feel like they loved to, especially for the grungy look, they love to like extend makeup on both sides of their eye. So they like to extend it out far on this side, on the ends, but also get it like kind of close in the inner corners. Okay. Next I'm gonna use some eyeliner. I just have my Maybelline Define Align brown. It's like a deep brown eye pencil. And I'm gonna use this to tightline my eye on both the inner and upper. Okay, just use that on my waterline. And just to blend, I'm gonna go in with like a teal shade again with an angled brush. Just gonna blend this in. Ready for mascara. So I'm gonna go back in. I usually use this. You've probably seen it before if you see my videos, but the Covergirl Lash Blast. Definitely wore mascara at the bottom. Gonna do the top. You can totally leave like this without any false lashes, because a lot of the times too it's just kind of like eyelashes that kind of look grungy like this, kind of just not so much clumpy but kind of clumpy. Or put on lashes, which is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in with my Ardelle. I just got the twin pack and I'm gonna use one of the sets. Put the first one on, so yeah, it's a little bit more natural of a lash. Okay, and the lips in the 70s were very natural and a lot of nude shades were worn. So I'm just taking my NYX lip liner in the shade Natural to line my lips. And I'm noticing on a lot of these, the Cupid's bow was just a tiny bit pointed. I'm just gonna draw a little bit of a point. I also got this, actually it was a free gift from Sephora for my birthday, and I feel like it's gonna be perfect for this look because it is in shade Laguna, and it looks like it would be like a deep color lipstick, but it's actually just a tinted balm. It's really pretty. It's like perfect for this look. They really like to be bronze, so I'm taking just a little bit more and using that in a striping motion. Okay, that is the makeup, but let's jump into hair. Okay, so splitting my hair into about 1-inch sections, I'm using a 1.5-inch barrel to curl my hair, and I'm just kind of curling away from my face, especially as I get closer to the front of my face. I'm curling away just to get that flipped hair look. Okay, and I'm doing the front pieces, including my side bangs, and I'm curling those away from my face as well. And after I brush out the curls, I really want the curls to be loose curls. I'm going to go ahead and tease the top of my head just to give it a little bit more of a full look. Okay, and that is done for the curls, and I'm actually going to put a bandana around my hair, or it's technically a hair scarf. And people use bandanas or hair scarves. I've seen a lot in photos and videos in the 70s. So I just figured that this would be just kind of a fun accessory to put on my hair. But that is the finished look. That is my 70s makeup and hair. I really hope you guys liked it. I am excited to do the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and maybe a couple more 2010s, 20s or something. But I hope you liked the video and stay tuned for the next one. Bye!